Hello everyone, and welcome back to Explain the Charts. Today is April 18th, 2025, and we're diving into Apple, APL, stock. We'll be looking at both the news and the charts to see what's driving the price action. First, let's recap the headlines. Recent news suggests that Apple is still facing headwinds from tariff concerns, particularly those impacting imports from China. Tariffs can impact Apple's production costs and sales, so it's definitely something to keep an eye on. We also saw headlines about Apple potentially delaying the release of an AI-upgraded Siri. Delays in AI implementation could impact investor sentiment. Now, let's take a look at the daily chart to see how these news events are reflected in the price action. We can see that Apple has been experiencing some volatility lately. Let's examine the daily chart more closely. On the daily chart, focusing on the past year, we can see a distinct downtrend emerging in early 2025 after hitting a peak near $260 in December 2024. The recent price action shows a significant drop in early April, followed by some recovery, but ultimately struggling to maintain upward momentum. Let's look at the hourly chart to see if we can identify any short-term patterns or potential support and resistance levels. Looking at the 1-hour chart, we can observe more granular price movements. On the 1-hour chart, we see a consolidation pattern forming. There's resistance around the $198 level and support around $194. A break above $198 could signal a short-term bullish move, while a drop below $194 could lead to further downside. However, looking at the 15-minute chart provides even more clarity on the immediate price action. Let's switch over to the 15-minute timeframe to hone in on intraday movements. The 15-minute chart shows a descending triangle pattern possibly forming with support around 194.40. If price moves below that, it can be a short-term bearish signal. Taking all of this into account, let's recap the key price levels to watch. Support is around $194 on the daily chart, with possible resistance at $198. A break of either of these levels will likely determine the short-term direction. Given the tariff headwinds and AI development uncertainties, I'd say there's a 60% chance we'll see a continued downtrend, potentially testing the $190 level in the coming weeks. However, positive news on AI or a favorable resolution to trade tensions could reverse this trend and push Apple back towards the $200 mark, though I think that is 40% likely to happen.